Good reason. One is to vote against the infamous crime bill, which comes up for vote tomorrow, and secondly to vote for the New Democrat motion, which would, if passed, if the government votes for it, then they are voting to give the head of Elections Canada greater powers to investigate, and that new legislation will come into place in 6 months, and furthermore that it will be retroactive. So those new powers of Elections Canada will apply to the last election. Why is it absolutely critical that you come out, and I thank you very much for turning out, in addition to people across the country are fed up. You're representative of more than 30,000 people that have actually contacted Elections Canada to express their rage that they had received calls trying to direct them to the wrong poll. And I'm going to turn over in 2 seconds here to my colleague Lewis Cardinal, who in fact was one of those whose constituencies did receive those kinds of calls. So what's really important is that we stand up and hold the government accountable. I encourage you, leading into the vote, to contact the Prime Minister's office. If you're not in my riding, to phone your member of Parliament. They should be held accountable for standing up and voting for our motion. Frankly, they shouldn't have had to wait for our motion. They should have voluntarily stepped up and amended this law. We actually brought this proposal to parliamentary committee some time ago, and the Conservatives refused to strengthen the laws. And it's important to recognize that those powers exist in all of the provincial legislatures. So what we're asking for is not something untoward. It's just reasonable powers Elections Canada would have. So, you know, this is a critical time in our democracy. It's a basic tenet of democracy is that we abide by the rule of law. The first tenet of the rule of law is that our officials are duly elected in a fair and open democratic election. So this is a basic principle. This allows us to belong to the United Nations. It will allow us to try to cleanse our international reputation somewhat, and so that we can continue sending monitors overseas to teach other countries how they can run open and fair elections. So this is obviously a very important point in time for the credibility of our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Our democracy is experiencing a full frontal assault. And I'm very happy to know that Occupy Edmonton is here to bring the voice of the people forward. We need to hear you out there. We need you to call your MPs. We need you to send your letters and your emails to the Prime Minister's office demanding a full public inquiry on this matter. This is not about dirty tricks. Dirty tricks is when my Liberal opponent in Edmonton Centre distributes a false leaflet with false information on it, suggesting that they have the power to win, and obviously it's based on nothing more than made-up numbers. That's dirty tricks. This was a crime. They called well over 30 people in my riding, 30 seniors, assaulting our elders, confusing them where they should or should not vote. That is a crime. That is tantamount to mugging someone for their vote. Because if they don't vote, if a vote is not marked, it goes to the column of the Conservatives. So we are faced with a full frontal assault. It is a crime. Please raise your voice loud so they hear it all the way to Ottawa and all the way into the offices of the RCMP as well as our MPs. Thank you.